Today I will show you how to knit a reversible cover from the 28th issue of Passap magazine using punch card 3A. There is an exclamation mark on the pattern, which means it should be easy to make. That is what the cover should look like. Now let's try to make it and see if it will be that easy. First, make sure the racking handle is in its lowest position and the beds are centered. Use the orange tool and put all needles on the front bed in working position. Then put the leftmost needle out of working position and place the edge springs on the last working ones. Push the trip cam for the row counter to the left as far as it can go. Now raise all needles on the back bed of the machine. Place the edge springs on the last needles. The needles must be arranged as in the diagram. You can see them up close. Now set both locks to N and the stitch size to 4.5. Insert the orange strippers and take the first color yarn. I will use 2 strands of acrylic yarn. Rotate the racking handle 1 full turn anti-clockwise and knit 1 row. Now rotate the racking handle 1 full turn clockwise and knit 1 row to finish the cast on. If there is no stitch in the hook of the leftmost needle on the back bed, take the purl bump and put it into its hook. Then place the edge spring back on the needle. Clear the row counter, set the front lock to AX, increase the stitch size to 5 and press the left arrow key. On the back lock, set the stitch size to 4. Now raise pushers under all working needles on the front bed of the machine. To knit this cover, you need to have 2 punch cards number 3A and connect them with the arrows in the opposite directions. Place the first card over the second one, then use clips to connect them. You can see how to connect both cards on the diagram. If you don't have 2 cards, you can use only one, but every time you have to rotate it so the arrow is pointing in the other direction. Now it should look like this. Attach the card reader in the middle of the rail. Now insert the card until you hear a click. Slide the Deco device to the right. Move the lock to the far right and attach the Deco device. The Deco device must be able to scoop all of the pushers. Set the Deco to 4 and make sure you are knitting with the first color yarn. Now knit 2 rows. Make sure the machine is about to take the second color yarn and continue knitting. You have to change the color every 2 rows, in other words, whenever possible. According to the instructions, you have to knit a total of 1440 rows. After knitting the first 100 rows, you will be able to connect the other ends of the punch cards. I have a short video where you can see how to connect the punch cards, but I will leave that part here too. If you already know how to do it, you can support me by liking the video or leaving me a comment below. After you connect the cards, you only have to knit until you reach the right row count. If your machine doesn't have a motor, you will make a great workout by knitting this blanket. I have knitted a total of 1440 rows. According to the instructions, I have to make the cast off now, but I will knit 2 additional rows with the first color yarn. Clear the row counter, set the Deco device to 0 and detach it from the front lock. Set both locks to N and the stitch size to 6. Knit 1 row and lower the front bed. Use the yellow toe and make a zigzag large cast off. When you are done with the cast-off, raise the needles all the way, then bring them down to remove the cover from the machine. This is the right side and this is the wrong side. The image is inverted on the wrong side. The fact that the image is not finished is a bit disappointing, but that's what was written in the instructions. To make both sides look similar, you have to disconnect the punch cards before knitting the last rows and knit until you finish the punch card. I think it would be 8 rows more after knitting the image. However, I like it that way too. Now you can see the final result. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and I will be happy to see a photo of your cover. That's all for today, have a nice day and see you in my next video.